Now we're ready for
We're here,
comedy.
we're here to fight in the war room about comedies.
Whoever can tell the best joke gets theirs at number one.
All right, this is so.
Knock
This
knock.
category we start with every. No one's home. This year we start.
Good one. You get to pick this whole category, and it's not because of your joke. It's because you watched a lot more comedies than I did.
Yeah,
this
I
year.
like watching comedies.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of good ones, but there's also like, to me, this category has got standouts, and then, everything that we watch gets listed. That's how we start. So I think we both feel real good about Barry, so we put him up there. Actually,
Futile and Stupid Gesture was a movie.
yeah, we should go.
Based on
We should do this one by one. So Barry, we're going to talk a lot about Barry. A Futile and Stupid Gesture. This is the story of National Lampoon.
Right, the magazine and the franchise that it became.
Series or movie?
It was a movie. It was the other Bill Hader. Will Forte, is that his name?
Will Forte, yeah,
Yeah.
the other Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, the guy I associate for some reason with Bill Hader.
Good way to put it, because they are kind of like have
Yeah.
a weird straight man absurd style though.
For sure. And I think it was good, but it's not going to top the list here.
Right. Okay.
It's going to continue to slip down.
John Oliver still doing excellent week on excellent work on Last Week Tonight. It is it's not perfect, but this long form kind of like the Daily Show, like a long form analysis of a single issue per week is good. It's surprising, informative, it's entertaining, it's funny. I like the real world shenanigans he gets up to. And last season's no exception. Santa Clarita Diet, I tapped out halfway through season 1. I
did
this
too.
show.
And then I picked it back up. I thought season 2 was a little better than season 1,
Okay.
but like it doesn't beat the major things on here. It doesn't beat Glow or Always Sunny or
right.
Archer.
Silicon Valley. I in season 4 thought Silicon Valley was kind of entering a nadir. And I felt like this season was a bit of a return to form.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory on Silicon Valley season 5. This is the season after Tobolowsky. Is that right? Or is this the season where he's ousted?
The season. Yeah, it's the season after Tobolowsky. It's the season where Hooley is like kind of on the ropes and trying to come back at Pied
And
Piper.
Gavin gets like fired, or he's already.
But Pied Piper's having trouble getting like those they're having trouble finding clients and getting more rounds of funding. So it's all about there's like they found a artificially intelligent, super intelligent robot on there. There was the cryptocurrency that Guilfoyle created. There was
that almost bankrupted.
There was the Tesla shenanigans with Kumal's character.
Yeah.
There was
Dinesh.
Jared's Heart of Darkness shit, where he had tried, had to be the COO, so we found an assistant for Richard. There's a lot of good stuff here. But it's not. I don't think it's as good as like its initial seasons. So I don't know. This makes the top 10, the top 5 anyway. BoJack Horseman is absolutely one of the funniest and most insightful comedies. There was a half-hour single shot scene where it's entirely of BoJack giving a eulogy at his mother's funeral. That was one of the funniest, but most like having, growing up with a narcissist mother myself, like seeing like this bitter son at this funeral giving like a one man stand up with his dead mother's coffin as like the straight man, and then
Wow.
the denouement, the twist at the end instantly made this like it was like this brutal kind of like rip yourself apart type of performance, and then at the end it becomes this just like in 30 seconds it turns into absurd farce. It's like it's one of the best things on. Like it hurts me that more people don't watch it because it's just it does a really good job. I think it's one of the smartest, because a lot of comedies especially took shots. I took a shot at doing like something insightful about the Me Too movement, and I think BoJack was one of the few that actually said something you did actually move the conversation forward. So yeah, I fucking love BoJack. If you like if you like Always Sunny and that kind of humor, this is just like a maybe even better version of that because it's cartoon characters. They truly are, just emotional stunt people. So yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Saturday Night Live. I think Saturday Night Live is kind of in. I'm worried because a lot of the big names are retiring after this next year. Like I don't know about retiring. Their contracts are the Kate McKinnons. A lot of the crop of new people that came in the last 5 years are all kind of scheduled to at least expire the contract this year. And I don't know what they're going to do, but last year I thought was a really good year for Saturday Night Live. You watched a lot of it too, didn't you? Oh, really? I thought
my girlfriend watches basically all of it.
Adam Driver, I thought was a great episode. The Dave Chappelle episode was great. There's a lot of really good episodes. It's Always Sunny in Philly.
I'm 9 episodes into the 10 episode season.
In my opinion, one of the all time great seasons.
I've had a lot of fun with this season.
And they did a lot of uniquely Philly things. Like I loved the mini series they had about winning the Super Bowl, which I thought was well handled and something they had to kind of do. I thought they really who's Dennis? I always forget this fucker's name.
Glenn Howerton.
Glenn Howerton. I thought they skillfully navigated his largely absent role. Like he felt like he was in it a lot, even though you could tell he was probably there for like 1 or 2 full episodes of shooting and just stuff that they pieced together in others.
Yeah,
he was a real doll and like 2.
That was pretty good.
The character of Glenn was played by a real doll, and it was super fucking effective. Yeah, I liked. It's great. See, and you haven't even got
when the waitress
the standout
sleeps with Charlie. Charlie introduces the real doll to the waitress.
Yeah,
she sleeps with it and leaves him.
So here's one that I haven't seen any of, and you have. Glow.
Oh yeah, no, there's something. So this is like a half comedy, half drama sort of thing, kind of like Barry. It's not as edgy as something like Barry, where there's a hitman and he's doing all these horrible things, and somehow they play that for comedy. This is more just a straightforward, lighthearted kind of comedy, and man, I just don't see a lot of those nowadays. So are
you saying this is Parks and Rec for women wrestlers?
There's a feel good element to it that's like, they don't, although Mark Maron also adds a little spice to it, which I think is good, because I don't know if I want to show that is all like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt kind of thing.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I've lost the ability to enjoy a regular comedy. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, a Parks and Rec, a The Office, a Kimmy Gibbler, the fantastic Kimmy Schmidt. Those levels of comedies, like it's like it's hard to go back to Playboy when you've gotten into Hustler. It's like it's hard to go back to that when you're into Barry and BoJack and Atlanta. When you see like the really wild, crazy, inventive mixing of drama and comedy and important issues, it's like it's hard to go back to the stuff that's just like laugh track.
I find it pretty easy when my day-to-day is mixed with comedy and drama to lean into a show like Glow, where, it's a little lighter. It can kind of take me out of the things that I'd maybe rather not think about for an hour. And I'm cool with that. Glow is pretty high on my list. It's probably higher than like Silicon Valley, but I only have I think I've seen 6 of these shows, and American Vandal I've only seen 2 episodes of.
Okay.
So Glow is pretty high for me. I could understand if it wasn't very high for you. And I think this is more.
I can't even comment on it because it's like I haven't seen it. And I'm not like with 2 seasons in, I'm probably not going to jump into it.
No.
Disenchantment. Do you know about this?
So this is the is it a Futurama?
Matt Goring, like it's Futurama, The Simpsons, and its DNA is unmistakable.
And it's more of a fantasy thing, right?
It is. It's Futurama, only the opposite direction. And as a big fan of Simpsons, as a big fan of Futurama, I couldn't get past the first 3 episodes. Like I thought this was felt old and stale and kind of lifeless. And there were a couple jokes that did land. You know, they haven't forgot how to tell a smart visual gag, but and I don't know. Again, it could be that like if Futurama came out today, I wouldn't like it as much. But yeah, it just didn't do it for me. I was disappointed. Archer Danger Island is like, so if you've lost track of Archer. The guy who wrote Archer got bored with doing Archer, and he's essentially found a way to pivot it into the, like, you know, one year they got 10 tons of cocaine and tried to move it on the international market, and then one year they did this, and then the last 3 seasons have taken place within Archer's damaged brain after he's been shot, and he has these crazy fantasy sequences, and this was essentially like the old Disney show Tailspin. It's okay. It's the Archer crew as different, like the crazy German doctor is a parrot. Pam is this like 6'8" strapping dude that's Archer's sidekick, and
wow, this has gone places.
Yeah, no, and it's super. It's just as funny. It's just like, it's kind of entertaining how they can just keep hammering this into wilder and wilder shapes, but the kind of like fast-paced office, super cutting and acerbic humor
still very Archer.
But
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it's also, you know, kind of in its end of its creative runway, literally in this season. American Vandal 2.
Yeah, season 2 of this. I've only seen 2 episodes, but not because I thought it was bad, just because I don't know. I just stopped watching it. I had other things to do at the time. This is a weird one because it is basically like, you know, the Return of the Jedi to Star Wars New Hope.
Yeah.
It's the same thing essentially, but I was kind of surprised that they could still make that funny.
Yeah, because they also, with the religious school, they mixed in a little bit of some of the there was a whole bunch of like Spotlight and The Searcher. There's some of these kind of religious themes where they had like some menacing nuns and priests, and I thought they added a couple other elements to this season, because I've actually watched everything but the finale episode. And the other thing is the physical comedy. When you actually see the Vandal, his first thing is he spiked the lemonade in the school with something that had everyone have uncontrollable diarrhea. Yeah. And the scene of the school being gripped in this vivid, like people shit. Like there's this one shot that every time they show it, it's this kid shitting in a urinal. It's just really funnily staged. People in bed and you know, crap in their drawers and shitting in like several people sharing a single big industrial trash can. It's crazy. It's pretty funny.
That's good. They mine everything that show does for all of its comedy. Yeah. And it still works, even though it's more of the same. And
it's also like the central kind of figure is like last year he was kind of like this you know, big dumb kind of jock guy. It's like this very smart, weird, precocious, like nerdy, dorky teenager guy, and he's like the fucking best, man. Me and Cecily are endlessly quoting this guy. It's fun. I don't know how many more seasons they got in it, but it's the very absurdly high production value. And it's so funny because they lampshade that. Like they mentioned, like last season, like they made it seem like they'd shot a documentary, Netflix bought them, and then that's how they showed like before and after, like the animatics they had when it was just a student film versus, and it's just like all in universe really fucking works and is funny. So, and then Atlanta season 2. This is a fucking phenomenal comedy. It's hilarious. It's insightful. It doesn't even have a star. It's got like a loose collection of, like, Donald Glover is definitely the guy behind it and doing the most, but it's like Paperboy is a super funny character. His right-hand man is really funny. Zazie Beetz as Donald Glover's on again, off again girlfriend is like, she has entire standalone episodes that don't miss a beat. It's great. Like if you're not watching Atlanta and you like comedies at all, you should fucking watch Atlanta. It's really good. So that's the list of the comedies that we have on the table. It'll be interesting to see what the user category looks like. I'm going to put Atlanta. I'm going to take Atlanta and American Vandal and shove them all the way to the top.
And Archer, apparently.
Nope.
We did.
Wait. Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. What did I do?
You got one extra.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Always Sunny is going to go way to the top.
Okay.
I'm not putting these in any particular order. I'm just, if I cut and paste above one, it'll fuck up my fonts. BoJack Horseman, I want to put at the top, towards the top. Okay. And then you want to put Glow up there too, right?
Yeah, I think I would put Glow. Yeah, that's where I would slot Glow on my list.
Do you have any desire to sort out of the top 5? Because I kind of think we should derive a top 5.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna have very little input on this because I think I haven't watched the best comedies this year. I think Barry was one of the best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I did watch that. Always Sunny to me is always one of the best, but
it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard for me. Why the hell does this keep?
And I will say I doubt Glow is going to remain in the top 5.
Oh, okay. Well, because like I said, that's one I don't know.
Right.
American. So I just don't know how to sort these top. Like right now, I got Barry's number 1, 2 Atlanta, 3 Always Sunny, 4 BoJack. I think if it was me, and it sounds like it largely is going to be me, I would go Atlanta barely edging out Barry's first season. Then It's Always Sunny, and well, actually BoJack I think is better than Always Sunny.
Yeah,
but these are like they're all doing very different things.
Oh yeah.
And they're all very, very funny. But and like Atlanta and Barry, like boy, that's really tough. And then there's like a little bit of fall off to BoJack, and then a little bit of fall off to Always Sunny, and then of course I don't know. Like Glow's a big question mark for me. I would put American Vandal over it just because I haven't seen Glow. Yeah,
I've seen enough of American Vandal to think that I probably wouldn't enjoy watching it as much. Is it a funnier comedy, I guess, is the question, though. And I'd probably say yes, just because Glow isn't all about comedy, whereas American Vandal is going for comedy and nailing comedy.
And that's what I like about Atlanta and Barry is they're definitely like the dramedies, but they have an emphasis. Like some of this, like always, Orange is the New Black, I don't think it was really a comedy, especially in later seasons. Like, it definitely has funny things in it, but then so does fucking Breaking Bad, and no one calls it a dramedy.
Right.
Whereas Atlanta, like, even in the really serious episodes, always will have at least one scene that, like, has you kind of, like, really invested in the characters, and they just hit you with something fucking hilarious. Or the intrinsic premise of the episode is funny.
And Barry has a couple of characters who are just there for comedy.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Which in my mind makes it enough of a comedy to fit in this category.
So let's look at because like Barry is interesting because it's the one thing that we've both seen. I think Barry's amazing because Barry can pull off fairly compelling like Marvel Netflix Marvel Cinematic Universe level of action and violence, and also just be fucking hilarious. And they derive a lot of humor from like the weird gangster types that they hang like this
yeah, I mean NoHo and
NoHo, my god, NoHo
and his boss or his underling. Who's the big scary it's
the guy who played the Remus. What is yes. Remus in Boardwalk, and he also played the Yellow King in True Detective.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was him. Yeah, absolutely. He's great too. I mean, he's hilarious.
But NoHo, like, there's a scene where he sends like an emoji that had one of the biggest laughs because he's just a funny looking dude, and when you see that in Bitmoji form, with like, it's like. These guys use text the same way you and I do, but they're texting about murdering someone. It's like like using an awkward emoji about like it's sucks.
I mean, he uses it more like somebody 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But he's also talking about murder and gangster shit. Like,
yeah,
it's so good. And then even Barry, like his awkward demeanor in places, his, kind of inability to be a normal human being sometimes is hilarious.
Yeah.
Even in scenes where it's also tragic and scary. And it's just a great blend of comedy
but then
and
he
drama.
has this, like, there's another standout is where, like, people are, he's an ex-soldier, but he's also a current hitman.
Yeah.
And doing very morally ambiguous black things. He's just murdering people for hire. This isn't like, he's not saving the world here.
Yeah.
And he's also taking these acting lessons. And there's this part where, like, his class, who are a bunch of, liberal artsy-fartsy types, are openly talking about how uncomfortable they are at the concept of people death. And if you kill someone, there's no way you can come back for that. And Barry starts to get uncomfortable. And there's a situation where and Henry Winkler, who is the drama instructor, kind of comes in and says, like, look, because he's just giving his moving speech, and he's like, look, we couldn't. You're right, Barry. We couldn't possibly put ourselves in your situation. It's wrong for us to do that. So, and then he turns to class, and goes, but I think we can all agree that outside the realm of war, murder's the worst, and it just completely undercuts everything that just happened. And it's so fucking funny.
Right.
It's so fucking funny, and how they definitely kind of handle that tension is. I love his daydreams. Like, where he's having this daydream of, like, where him and his girl are together and they're married and they're like Hollywood celebrities, and John Hamm comes up at a barbecue and he's like, hey man, can I hit your shitter? And that's like what it's like. It's really funny shit like that I've never seen before. Like the way they visualize the kind of, like, this fantasy life this guy has is great. So yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing is, like, Always Sunny. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so there were some really good episodes and episodes that I'm not, like, primed to like all that much. Like, I just finished watching episode 9, which is kind of the conclusion of the 2-part Super Bowl things they did. And I found that one hilarious. Like, mostly on Danny DeVito's back. Just, like, his kidney stone stuff. Like, his just reactions and acting there. So good. So freaking good. He's
a man. Wait to see it, because it's like peak DeVito in the finale.
Oh fuck! I can't wait.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. It's so funny. Yeah, I think, like I feel like in around season 10 that Always Sunny got in a little bit of a creative slump, and then they had some kind of comedic colonic, and it cleared out all their bullshit, and they have just been killing it these last few seasons.
Yeah,
man, it's really funny.
Okay. There was the Ladybogs journey, which I thought was awesome.
Okay, so they even, like, I love how they even talk about, like, is this like one of those weird, like, lady reboots? It doesn't need, like, they have that meta discussion,
like a Ghostbusters kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
And then every time they bring in this poor fucking waiter, he's in the Super Bowl one. Frank ties his shoelaces together again. I love it. I love it.
Crickety Ricket still.
Dude, I was super bummed when they kicked him out of the Super Bowl party.
Right.
And then when he showed back up, I was like, yeah, but he doesn't do anything. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't get to shine in that episode.
Not as many shenanigans. This wasn't they left out the Poils, although I think that's a smart move, because I feel like they're in danger of being ran into the ground.
Yep.
Or the McPoils, I should say. Yeah, great. And I don't like. Why did you hear anything about
Dennis's fucking sexual harassment seminar episode? Was great as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to turn into a train wreck where these horrible people ruined this otherwise great seminar, and then it went so much further, which is what I love about Always Sunny. Like, when you think these people are going to be bad in one way, they're as bad as you could possibly imagine in all the other ways. Yeah,
like they have this thing where it's kind of like the premise, and then, like, the subversion of the premise, and then, like, that second stage explodes at some point.
Yeah.
And they're one of the best in the business of doing that. So do we have a top 5 that we're happy with? Atlanta, Barry, BoJack, Always Sunny, and Glow.
You want Glow in that mix?
I'm giving you Glow.
Okay.
Because I can't say. An American Vandal is essentially, did you like the half gallon of vanilla ice cream you got in season 1? Well, here's a half gallon of chocolate.
Yeah.
because it's shit instead of dicks this year.
Yep.
So whereas Glow presumably builds on a continuity and the characters keep getting better and better and the humor is more specific. So like I'm putting it into Simulator and saying like, okay, yeah, maybe it's better than American Vandal, because I don't think American Vandal, like, it's significant drop off between the top 4 and American Vandal.
There's nothing below this that you'd put up there. I
mean, like I said, I don't the order beyond the top 6 is not in any kind of, like, I'm not gonna think about, like, you know, I mean, Silicon Valley's too low and Saturday Night Live's too low, and not everything else about right, but yeah. Do you want to put Glow above American Vandal, having seen 2 episodes of American Vandal and knowing it's exactly like that?
Yeah, I enjoyed my time with Glow.
Okay.
More than season 2 of American Vandal.
Then let's make that our top 5. And
so what is the top 5?
I will reserve the right for the award show to flip the top 4 around, but right now it's number 1 Atlanta, number 2 Barry, number 3 BoJack, number 4 Always Sunny, and number 5 Glow. And I am super excited about new seasons for all of this, except for Glow, because I don't watch it.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's
Deliberation
it for
done.